overtime. Because this is when the real fun talk happens. Oh, he muted himself too. That's great.
You're still on mute, Bruce.
There we go.
You're muted, Bruce. There you go.
Hey, I hit the keyboard. No, it was fun. I had a lot of fun. I mean, next time it'd be fun talking more football too. And the name stuff is so hard. I mean, it's how do you satisfy everybody, you know?
Yeah, I'll go back to what I started with. The goal should not be to satisfy everyone. The goal should be pick something that the majority of fans can live with and not be embarrassed by. If they can do that, I'll shut up forever.
Well, see,
yeah,
I could argue the opposite. Pick something you can brand and then earn your brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget the fans, forget appeasing people. Pick your brand, pick your direction, and go with it. It's kind of like I'm in the middle of a business. My company just acquired 14 stores up here in Northern Virginia. We are going through hell, but guess what? We have a direction. We're pissing people off in the process, but we have a direction, and we have to maintain that direction.
I just looked up and saw this
name and go.
Well, that's why you don't announce that you're going to take 3 years to come up with a new name.
Yeah, it's overkill. You said it.
I get that the argument that, well, you know, all the things that have to happen. No, the name change takes, 5 minutes. Everything that follows that takes a long time, branding and all the rest of that. I get it, but I don't think they've done themselves any favors by dragging it out.
No. But a lot of the,
they had to do something. And quite frankly, I'd be willing to bet you that they hadn't put any thought into it. Because Dan Snyder has said for how long, as long as I own this team, we're not changing the name. And finally, there was this tipping point, and they went from we're not changing the name to we have to change the bloody name, and we have to do it right now. And that all happened before lunch one day.
I bet you the only reason he did it is to get Fred Smith out of there. Fred Smith is the CEO of FedEx. You think it's ironic that in the midst of their divorce, he finally said, "Oh, we don't support the name anymore. FedEx is going to rip our name off the side of your building unless you change it." Come on. That was leverage.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't do naming rights again when they do build a new stadium. I know they will, but I really wish they would just name it like Joe Jackson Gibbs Stadium, make it meaningful, and don't put any more garish colors.
The Wolf's Den or whatever. But they're going to, because he's not going to want to pay for it.
I don't think they will. There will be some type of a corporate sponsor. It's too lucrative at this point in time, John. But I wish that, again, this is another one of those things I wish they would adopt from world football, from soccer. You go over to the English Premier League, and the stadiums all have corporate names now for the most part, right? I mean, they used to have very traditional local names that I really liked, but the stands are named for heroes out of the past.
Like sections, you mean?
Yeah,
sections?
Yeah, like the West Stand, the East Stand. They're named for, and I would dearly love to see the home side stand in the new stadium named for Joe Gibbs. That's the Joe Gibbs. That's the Joe Gibbs side of the stadium.
There isn't a positive ring to the club level.
That's where the misogyny and sexual abuse happens, man. That's why you got to pay.
Sean Taylor's locker is still up there. Why is it there? You can't go up there unless you got a stupid ticket. I can't. That frustrates me beyond words.
Again, Dan Snyder can turn a nickel into 2 dimes faster than anybody in the world.
True.
And that's what it's all about.
Hey guys, I gotta go. I gotta make dinner.
All right, buddy.
I hate
pleasure having you, Bruce.
Hey, it was great. Bruce. Hope you'll have me again. I'd love to do it.
Yep.
Thanks for being here, man.
All right. See you guys. It's great to meet some of you finally, like to see a face. It's
likewise.
Actually, let's definitely do it. I definitely want to come back when Mark's there. That'll be fun.
Man, obviously we're a long way away, but we do a draft party every year where we all jump on here.
Really?
Yeah, we did it this year.
Oh,
we watched it all live we were on the chat and we were on Zoom.
All right. I'll try next year.
Maybe we can do a couple games this year where we all jump on Zoom and record.
They're going to announce the new name. So
yeah, we can all do a
name watching party.
A name announcement watch party. Oh my God. Well, it's great to see you
love
guys,
that.
and I'm happy to be sort of not ghosting as much. So
Come on.
I'll be as involved as I can get my. Actually, it'll be okay. I got 2 girls heading off to college, so that's 2 less here to take my attention away. So, all right,
right.
gentlemen,
Have a
stay
good night,
well.
buddy.
Thanks,
I'll
Bruce.
talk to you guys
Sure.
soon. Thanks again.
Yep.
Keep up the good work.
That was fun. John, I pushed that off for a long time, but it wasn't bad. I just didn't
Yeah,
want
I
to be
don't
in
think we'll get, I mean, I think the one thing you fear doing a pod about the name change is that just the horrible abuse you're going to take when people watch it. 'Cause people get so intense about it, just even on something like Twitter, people get nasty about it. But I don't think, and not that I was really worried about that, but I don't think there was anything we talked about that was mock worthy other than Washington Alliance and the DC Dragons.
But it is good to talk about. There's one thread on the board about the name change, but there's very little actual name change conversation. It's all about how the team is fumbling the process. We're not really talking about the new name.
Well, and I mean, if they were going to do this, now's the time to, if you're gonna drag it out, now's the time to drag it out, because let's face it, there's actually some positive stuff to talk about. I mean, I log into the board now and there's more interest in what's actually happening on the
There's
field
hype
than the
videos.
political BS.
I'm putting a bunch of pictures and stuff on there from training camp, and Mike's
Yeah.
sharing hype videos every couple of weeks. And
You know,
is
what I mean,
it
it's
possible
exciting.
that Dan Snyder had enough forethought to say, "Hey, we're going to be good in a year, and then we might be going from good to really good in 2 years. Let's
Paul
wait."
shaking his head.
We should never give that man any sort of credit.
All right, well then let me rephrase that. Is it possible Jason Wright could see the writing on the wall that we were going to take a big step last year to this year and say, let's put it between 21 and 22 because we
No,
should be coming off of we should be on the ascent.
I think
feel
Jason Wright is so afraid of his boss, what he's going to do if he doesn't like the new name. He's going to put it up as long as he can.
I'll tell you what,
Like,
working for Tanya's
2025,
got to
we
be
might need
hard,
another
man.
couple of
I'd be
years.
scared.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I wasn't trying to give him that much credit, but it's very convenient that we're supposed to be getting this name next spring. And we're talking about this team as being legitimately being the first team since 99 to win a playoff game.
I mentioned this, and I think Bob was the one who said, I trust the team more than the fans. But I wonder why they don't just come up with like a list of wait, what we just did, essentially come up with a list of 10 names and then just put it out there and let the fans pick the name. Why don't
That's how
they
the
do that?
Wizards ended up as the Wizards? It was a vote.
I didn't vote.
I don't trust the fans. I mean, currently
I
Red
don't
Wolves
either.
is the leader in the clubhouse, and I'm not. And I think that's horrible. I just think that's horrible.
It's the leader on social media.
Well,
It's
but
Well, it's because it's the loudest on social media. That's just not the majority. It's just the ones who scream the loudest.
that's the way things work in this country now, Derek.
Yeah, I know, man.
Part of me just feels like it's our team. Why are a bunch of suits picking the name that, by the way, don't have any association with this team historically, other than that they're currently employed by them. Why are they picking the name?
Yeah.
Except Martin Mayhew. Let him
Yeah.
pick it. At least he has a ring.
Wait, didn't Wright actually play here?
He was in Arizona, wasn't he?
I
And
don't
then
think
maybe Detroit.
I thought he also played at Washington for a year or two. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know
I mean,
about that.
Let's
Obviously,
find
he's
out.
not a Ring of
Oh,
Fame
Google.
candidate, but
And I
Professional
really
career.
don't hate Jason Wright. I mean, he sounds like he's a really awesome guy. I believe that. I just want the Band-Aid ripped, man. And that maybe that's not the way corporations operate.
well,
But
I just, I look at the way Cleveland did it. I mean, we were joking about 35 seconds, but that they made the decision to change the name months ago and just kept it under wraps. They didn't tell anybody until they were ready to unveil the new name.
You have to wonder, like, why why there wasn't for the last 10 years, Dan Snyder hasn't thought about this and said, I'm not going to let it happen. I'm not going to let it happen. But
He spends half of his day is spent correcting people who didn't call him sir or Mr. Snyder. I mean, I really
or
think
telling people not to look him
you
in the
haven't
eye.
been at the park. I mean, I'm telling you, it's that way. It's not like the culture. And I mean, maybe the culture's changed. I don't know, but the culture there was not conducive to like communication and sharing of ideas. And that's why like I don't know how many times they turned over their PR department, but they had great people in the PR department. And next thing you come back the next year and they were gone, some new people. And you're like, what the hell? Their IT department, they've turned over and over. So I don't know. I just think that's not the way they operate. Like Bob was alluding to, they just, were forced to change the name and they did it and they weren't really prepared for it.
See,
I
but
hope,
that's
I
not
hope
how-
at the, I hope at the end of the day that these guys aren't naive enough to believe that with like almost a 2-year process that they're going to perfect this and they're going to find something that everybody's going to rally around. It's just, I think you're fighting an uphill losing battle. And, as I mentioned before, with some of these other teams that have to change their name, you do the best you can do in the circumstance. And I think like the Indians did the best they could have done in the circumstance by playing it safe and just, having a regional city approach. And I hope these guys don't think that time is going to be their best friend and that the more time we take, the better the chance we have of getting it right, because they're not going to get it right. Sadly.
I read a very interesting article. It's much business related. It's not sports related, but it was the number one thing that CEOs wanted people to understand, their number one keys to success. And the point that Jeff Bezos made was make a decision now, not later. Having 70% of the information now, it more than likely isn't going to change your decision when you get to 90%. You probably aren't going to make a better decision. And the time you wasted getting from 70% to 90% of the information,
you've done more damage.
is wasted. A decision not made is more harmful to your organization than the wrong decision made now. And we've now drug it out by the time they announce it, we will have drug it out for pretty much 2 years. And I can't say it's done the team any good, other than the fact that once we change the name again, now everybody's got to buy all new gear. So there are, there's merch money out there, because people, once the name's purchased or once the name's final, people will go spend money again. But there's a hardcore group of people out there spending money on Washington football team stuff. Quite frankly, I'm tempted to order something just to have a Washington football team something, right, to commemorate this part of our history.
Thanks to John. There.
I'm thinking very seriously about ordering a t-shirt or something this season just to have something from
because
this.
It is a part of our team history.
It is now a part of our team history, especially if this team is going to do something legitimate on the field this season. If we're going to go make some noise this season under that moniker, I want something,
Well, and we've all invested so much in this team. It's still the team, like this franchise, I should call it, beyond just this team, this franchise. I was at Art Monk and Darryl Green's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I was a season ticket holder for 5 years. Three of my 5 groomsmen in my wedding were people I was at that Hall of Fame induction ceremony with. You know what I mean? Like, that's just Mike. I met him at Canton, Big Mike. I wouldn't be on this board if it wasn't for that trip, and doing this if it wasn't for this team. Regardless of how frustrating it might be, we're still here. This is us,
I definitely don't get the segment. There's a segment of people that'll kind of mock you if you're like, they will mock our discussion. Any kind of animation or energy behind the name thing, they'll mock it and say, you're a grown man, you're worried about the name of your football team.
Yeah,
I don't get that at all. It's like, how can you not? I mean, I don't know. I just don't.
Be
I can't
passionate about
relate to
something
that.
for once in your life. Okay, that's fine.
I can't relate to that. It's like, it's a team I
Plus,
started rooting for when I was 7 years old. I mean,
Right.
how can I just,
This is the longest relationship I've had in my life, short of my mother, right? You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
seriously, and
right?
people don't think about it that way, but it's the God's honest truth. I mean, look at
Yeah,
the
I
flags
mean-
behind you guys. Like, look, think about the tailgates we've been to. You know, the time and energy that you do to just spend time with people.
I mean, I was kind of half joking, but at the same token, half serious. I mean, my best friend and I go back to 8 years of age, but I was already a Redskin fan. I was a Redskin fan at 6 or 7, right? So the only relationship I've had longer than that is my parents, and dad will have been gone 5 years. So we're pushing a point where mom is the only relationship I've had in my life that will be longer than my
Yeah, but-
my relationship with his football team.
Your relationship with your dad hasn't stopped.
Well, no, but you know what I'm
I get
saying.
your point, though. I
He's
get your
not there
point.
anymore. And so it's, you know, it's, man, it's important.
And that's
I want him to make a good
that's my
choice.
response to people who are like, I can't root for this team. I can't, but it's like, I can't not root for this team.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I remember the day that they basically announced that this name is history. No word of a lie, God honest truth. I literally cried and I was bawling like a 5-year-old in front of my wife. I don't have that local connection, you know, to say that, well, they're my hometown team. Like I live in Canada. Like I have absolutely no reason to cheer for that team outside of the fact that I can say, hey, I'm a Redskins fan and I've always been a Redskins fan.
How did you
You know,
get
and
caught up in this, Paul?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. Crazy way that I became a fan of the Redskins. I believe it was the 87 season, 1987. We played Pittsburgh. It was early game early in the season. It was like week 2 or 3. We played the Steelers at home, and I was like 7 at the time, and we would get, like, you know, you get the game on NBC, you get the game on CBS, and that was it, right? And
Mhm.
for me, where I grew up in a border town, so the CBS game was always the Lions. You were getting the Lions every week, but
Mhm.
NBC was broadcasting Washington Pittsburgh, and I literally said, whoever wins this game will be my team for life. And Washington ended up winning. I believe the final score was 30-29. You guys can go look
Wow.
it up online. I think it was the 87 season. I said, whoever wins this game is my team, and we won 30-29, and that was how history wrote itself for me.
And you haven't looked back.
No, and very, very proudly so.
You know, when I started following English Premier League football, the English have a saying: you can change your job, you can change your wife, your football team is for life. And they also firmly believe that your team finds you. That there's a connection there. There's a reason everything happens. Maybe you're born in Manchester, maybe you're, you know, or you're born in the Chelsea part of London or whatever, but or for some other reason, because I've got friends in England who it makes no sense. Like you, geographically, it makes no sense why they root for who they root for. But they all have a story about how the team, quote unquote, found them. And I don't know. I think that's great. You should write it. You know what? You should do a post about that.
Seriously.
Somewhere in the past, I have. I don't know if it was on Extreme Skins or BGO or what have you. But
A board
I know
started by a
mentioned that.
Canadian, by the way.
What's that?
The website started by another
Eric,
That's
yeah,
right.
Eric Storm.
No,
Yeah.
God. Tony
Huh?
DeMarco. is a
Tony
Canadian.
DeMarco.
Die Hard, yeah.
Oh, okay. Who was Blade then? Where was Eric from?
Eric is, I don't know where originally he's from, but he was a Northern Virginia guy. And then he's out in north or south
Midwest
Dakota.
somewhere now, right?
Yeah. God, I
So-
haven't seen that guy in 25
I didn't know
years.
Die Hard was Canadian though. That was news
Oh,
to
yeah.
me. Where is Die Hard? Die Hard doesn't post anymore, does he?
Not on our board. He still posts on Extreme
Does he
Skins.
still post on Extreme Skins?
Yep, I think so. Once
I went over the other day for something and couldn't even remember how to log in.
I won't log in.
What
again.
was it? What was it that popped up? There was a thread that popped up about a year ago that had a whole bunch of the old heads come in there, and now I
Yeah.
can't.
With some
You
reminiscing.
John posted, Die Hard posted.
Art.
Oh my God, there was a. You know what? I can go look.
I can't believe Art actually posts every now and again on our board. Oh
Art
my
was
God.
on there. Yeah.
That was
That's because they banned him on Extreme Skins again. Threatened to ban me.
that's just too well. Jimbo's out of control.
I don't think it's Jimbo.
That
It's
whole
Jim-
place is out of control. But
Yeah,
well, now we can't post the overtime.
Yeah, we can. Why not? What are they going to do?
doesn't matter to
Cancel
me.
us?
A
A lot of the stuff on that, the reason I'm with BGO is because BGO is what ES was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I still love Mark and John's original tagline for BGO.
what was that?
The most intelligent skins site on the internet.
I almost said that tonight. When I
Uh,
said BGO, I almost said
I
that.
don't know why.
wrong, but
I don't
then
know why I dialed that back because I used to have that plaster on everything. I
I
think
don't-
I finally decided there was no market in it.
And there may not be any market.
There aren't
in it, but
enough of
it's
us
still
out
cool.
there.
Well,
We
there
do
is
have-
also no offense, but we've also seen plenty of people that don't qualify for that standard come through BGO.
No comment.
Oh,
All right. I think I'm ready to start uploading this because I've probably got another 45 minutes to an hour before I can even get it up on YouTube. So,
gents, always a good time.
yep.
Yep. Thank you
But I
guys.
have to close the room before it'll start the upload. So,
So be
Paul,
thinking about what you want to do. Our next top. I picked a couple topics, so somebody else needs to step up and pick it. Oh, I guess we start talking about the
now
team.
it's gravy. 2 weeks from now, we just have a preseason breakdown and a roster cut down because we'll be ahead of week 3.
We got to
We
start
actually-
thinking about. We got to start thinking about how we're going to manage the season, the actual season, though. As far as do we want to
Yeah,
do?
what are we gonna do? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Do
Yeah.
one a week. Do it on Wednesday. The first set a timer. The first half hour is the week before. The second half hour is the week following. Or do we break it up into 2 podcasts a week?
I don't know. Maybe we should just start a thread about that. Throw some
Now's the
ideas.
time to talk about it, not the week
Yes.
after week
Yeah, I mean, it's
1.
coming.
Yeah.
It's coming quick. First game's tomorrow. I almost said, why don't we just get on and have a pod tomorrow while we watch the game together? Whoever can come can come. But that's also regional, so I don't even know how many people are actually going to be able to watch.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting it down here. And
And
got
before I hang up on overtime,
Bob, I think it's on NFL Network.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, then
Probably.
I will get it down here. Okay.
and before I hang up on here, if I can just take a moment to say it will be very sad to have the first game without Doc Sandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
did some
so-
kind of a remembrance for her. I saw one of her nieces posted and posted pictures of her gravesite, which I put on the site. But I don't know if that seems morbid, but
Wow.
anyway.
My point was so for the threes of people that listen to this podcast and watch the video, and whoever joins the game day chat, hopefully people will join us. Tip a cap to Doc Sandy because it'll be the first one that she's not participating in God knows how long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No joke.
Oh, sorry to take that down that path, but so all right, boys, it's been a pleasure.
Good night, guys.
Night.
Thanks so much, guys. That was great.
Watch out for those storms. Good. Good luck traveling.
Yeah, thank you. You guys
Yeah.
all have a great week.
All right.
Good
See
night.
you guys.